The room went quiet before I understood why. The machine was still humming, steady and mechanical. But the doctor's hand stopped moving. The gel on my stomach felt suddenly cold, invasive. I turned my head just enough to see her reflection in the screen. Her face had drained of color. Her lips parted, then pressed together again, like she'd almost said something dangerous. She glanced at my husband, then back at me. "Excuse me," she said softly. "I need to speak with you alone." My husband frowned. "Is something wrong?" She didn't answer him. She met my eyes instead. There was urgency there, fear. When the door closed behind him, she leaned in, voice barely above a breath. "You need to leave," she said. "Today, don't go back home with him." My chest tightened, but my face stayed calm. "Why?" I asked. She swallowed. Her hands were shaking now. "Get a divorce." The word echoed hollow and sharp. I let out a slow breath. "You're not making sense." She turned the screen toward me. "No time to explain," she whispered. "You'll understand when you see this." And then I did. At first, it looked like every other ultrasound. Shadows, static, shapes. My mind tried to assemble into comfort. But the longer I stared, the more wrong it felt. Too precise. Too layered. She adjusted the image, zoomed in. 2 formations, 2 heartbeats, out of sync. My thoughts scrambled, reaching for logic, for biology, for anything that could soften what I was seeing. "That's not possible," I said. The words sounded borrowed. She didn't argue. "Not under normal circumstances." I felt something crack, not loudly, internally, controlled. "What are you saying?" She hesitated. "These pregnancies didn't start at the same time. And genetically, they don't align with the same father." The room tilted. Not enough to knock me over, just enough to change the horizon. I thought of nights he came home late, smelling faintly of someone else's perfume. The way he'd touched my stomach only when others were watching. The distance he'd explained away with stress. I nodded slowly, absorbing, filing it away. When I walked out, I smiled at him. Told him everything was fine. And from that moment on, I began pretending. I didn't accuse. I didn't cry. That would have been wasteful. I watched. I memorized the way he guarded his phone, how he angled it away from me, how his laugh had changed, shorter now, sharper, like it belonged to another version of him. I scheduled tests quietly, paid cash, asked no questions that could echo back to him. At night, lying beside him, I listened to his breathing and wondered how long he'd been rehearsing this life. How many lies it took to build something so convincingly normal. Emails came first, then photos, then timelines that overlapped mine with hers so precisely it felt deliberate. Not an affair, a strategy. I stayed warm, attentive, loving. Inside, something sharpened. The results arrived on a Thursday afternoon. I read them once. Then again. No shock this time, just confirmation. A clean line drawn through everything I thought I was carrying. That evening, I set the table carefully. Cooked his favorite meal. Poured wine. He smiled, relaxed, confident. After dinner, I slid the folder across the table. "What's this?" he asked. "Read it." His eyes moved quickly, then slower. His hands trembled. "I can explain," he said, already breaking. I tilted my head. "Explain which part?" Silence. "You planned it," I continued. 2 lives, 2 women, 1 safety net. He cried, apologized, promised. I felt nothing. "I filed for divorce this morning," I said. "And I sent copies of this to your employer. They take honesty very seriously." His face collapsed inward. "You're ruining me," he whispered. I stood, calm, precise. "No," I said. "I'm just stepping out of the way." At the door, I paused. "She knows too," I added. "I thought you'd want that symmetry." I didn't look back. Now the silence in my new place feels earned, clean. I think of the doctors shaking hands sometimes. The moment someone else saw the truth before I did. I didn't break. I adapted. And the man who thought he controlled the narrative is just a footnote I no longer read.